I'm going to level with you now. We were about to interview a poor lady, a Canadian lady, who was duped into helping this appalling paedophile wedding at Disneyland in Paris. To be fair to Disneyland, they were duped. Everyone was duped by a dreadful person by the name of Jacky Jhaj. He is a British paedophile who served a prison sentence some years ago for offences against two 15-year-old kids. Now, what he arranged at the cost of a roundabout, they think, as much as £110,000 was he hired guests, he hired the bride, a 9-year-old girl who was flown in from Ukraine, he hired best man, father, all this. He hired the whole thing. The lady we were going to speak to was hired as the casting director. She had no idea. She had no idea that this was a paedophile wedding. She thought it was this bloke Jhaj, convicted paedophile. He conned everyone into believing it was a real proper wedding. Now, the guy that he hired as his father smelt a rat, and he reported it to the police. So Jacky Jhaj, thank Christ, has been arrested by the French police and remains in custody. And the lady that we were going to talk to is called Amande Cross, and she's so traumatised by what's happened that she was all due to come on, but she's just got in touch with us. And in the manner of these things, she's just said, "I'm sorry, I'm just too upset to talk." You can understand it. A lot of people really upset. This is an extraordinary thing. Apparently he hired as many as 100 guests. You can see the pictures, there's all chairs there. It's just in front of what is it, Aladdin's castle? No, the Cinderella's castle, one of those castles that they've got. So it's all very pretty and everything. It was all set to go ahead, but now this guy Jacky Jhaj has appeared in front of a judge in Meaux near Paris, and he's been charged with fraud, breach of trust, money laundering and identity theft, and he's placed in pre-trial detention. So he is under arrest and facing some serious offences. Now this poor little girl, the 9-year-old, apparently shipped in from Ukraine 2 days earlier. So there's clearly other people involved in this horrible event. Now, in the absence of Amande, who I absolutely sympathise with, poor thing, she's a proper wedding organiser. She didn't know, and she's too distraught to talk. So I want to thank Marilyn Hawes, who's a long-time campaigner against child sex abuse, for stepping in at the 11th hour. Is Marilyn there? Is she ready to come on? She's about to come on in just a second. So we'll talk to Marilyn about this, but I don't know if you've seen the stories. It's a horrible story. So Marilyn's ready now, so a warm welcome to Marilyn Hawes. Marilyn, thanks for stepping in at such late...
Stepping in, that is that 15 seconds.
Yeah, I know. Well, this poor lady, Amande Cross, she was duped into being like the wedding organiser, and it looks to me as if quite a few people thought this was a real wedding. This guy Jacky Jhaj has conned everyone. He's a well-known con man as well as a paedophile. And this poor little 9-year-old girl was shipped in. A man said he was paid €12,000 to play the role of being the groom's father, I do believe. He, to his credit, just said, "I'm not putting up with this." He saw what was going on. He called the police. I believe Disneyland Paris are mortified as well. But
hang on a minute, Kevin. Disneyland are mortified. Disneyland arranged it, didn't they?
Well, they didn't. Yeah, but not in the knowledge. Let's be fair. Not in the knowledge that the bride was 9 years old. This guy conned everybody. So what I want to ask you, Marilyn, some of these paedophiles, we've heard they're really meticulous in the awful fantasies that they arrange for themselves. This one apparently cost this guy Jacky Jhaj about £110,000. Intricate stuff. What's going on in his head, do you think?
Well, the thing is about paedophiles, they have completely distorted brains. They're just, I mean, and you're not going to like this, but no one is born to be a paedophile.
No, of course.
It's created in the very early years. The first 3 years of a child's life are absolutely irrelevant to what happens thereafter. So in that guy's life, I'm not excusing it. It's just a reason. It's not an excuse. Every time I've gone into prisons and I've spoken to these geezers, I always say, tell me about the first few years of your life. They don't know where I'm going with it, but they immediately tell me about various traumas they've gone through. That needn't even be sexual abuse. 1 in 8 paedophiles were sexually abused. The other 7 had other forms of abuse that created trauma. That trauma in the early years spikes cortisol, breaks neural pathways, distorts blood vessels, recreates a different landscape in the brain, and it comes out in behaviors. Okay. And those behaviors are not picked up early enough, and they could be if people woke up and smelt the coffee, engaged with people like ourselves who can show you quite easily how to identify those behaviors. They're not, I'm not going to say normal.
Well, this is not
outside expected barriers.
Okay, Marilyn, what would be going on in this guy, 39-year-old Jacky Jhaj's head? He paid 12,000. I got it wrong. He paid 12,000 euros to a man to play the role of the father of the bride. He paid. Wait a second. He paid 110,000 in all to hire the place. He paid thousands and thousands of pounds to people to play guests and everything. He even had a load of makeup put on his face so that you couldn't recognise him. What on earth is... and shipped in this poor 9-year-old girl.
Can I just ask something, Kevin? Yeah. Where are her parents?
Well, I don't know. I mean... There. The whole thing.
Where were her parents?
Well,
and where was any guardian of hers? But the thing is, what he's done, he's like met his ultimate fantasy. What these guys do, they play. It's like they play a video in their mind and they run off that. There's nothing more powerful. Most powerful sexual muscle is your brain, and they invent it. They have a beginning of the film. They have something that plays out.
So marrying a little girl is an ultimate paedophile fantasy.
That's his.
Let me just tell you what one of the women who was hired to pay a guest said. She said she saw a little girl dressed in white with her hair all done up, and I saw a woman who picked her up in her arms, and I was shocked. I burst into tears when I saw it was just a child. It was horrific. So this guy, Jacky Jhaj, I suppose we have to say allegedly, but it's in France, so I don't really care. He spent a hell of a lot of money to create his perfect sexual fantasy, which was marrying a 9-year-old girl, yeah?
Absolutely right. He's lived his fantasy as far as he can, but then you think, well, you know, that video that he's done of this wedding will now be being sold on the dark web. So that could be his investment. He's puts a lot of money into it. But if you get live footage of a fantasy, and you go on the live web, on the dark web, that normal people, nobody actually can access because it's all with loads of encryptions. It goes out there as fresh meat.
So that's what this is about then. So that's why he spent so much money on it.
He's lived out and filmed in real time his fantasy.
And there's money in it if he puts it on the dark web.
Because this poor kid, this child will now be being sold for money on the dark web. And the bidding, I mean, I know cases where about 3 years ago now, there was a young boy that was, his webcam had been accessed and he was filmed showering naked. He was a 12-year-old boy in his shower, and then he saw the webcam go off and somebody had accessed that and they would have filmed it. I've talk to these people in prison, and they are proud to say if they can get footage of their fantasy, then they sell it on the dark web as fresh meat.
And what's just lastly, it's all too quick, Marilyn. Thanks again for stepping in.
Quick
you can come on. We'll come on and talk about it properly another time. But the little girl, Ukrainian. So girls as young as 9.
Here we go. Oh my God.
Girls as young as 9 are trafficked for this sort of thing.
Yes, they are vulnerable. I mean, she's Ukrainian. Where's her parents? I mean, you go back. I can remember years ago, I taught in Serbia, where child trafficking hadn't really been understood. But at that time, when I am going back years now, way before COVID, 10, 12 years ago, 15 maybe, and they were children being sort of sold over the border to creeps offering parents $1,000 or €1,000 rather to give their child a better life. I remember a time in Italy where 5,000 kids had gone missing and no one knew where they went. The money in this child trafficking for organs or sex or whatever, it is just, or just for self-gratification, is just unbelievable. It's huge. It's huge. He has lived out his fantasy.
And there's money.
Two fingers to you. I've managed what I wanted.
And he'll make a lot of money at it. Well, he won't.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. And that poor kid, her wedding is going to be out there forever now, winging around the dark web.
It's horrible, Marilyn. Listen, Marilyn, I'm going to have to go now, but come on again next week. We'll have a proper chat about this. But thank you so much once again.